I'm very highly educated. I know words, I have the best words.
Trump's speaking style is informal. It's casual, familiar, basic, and simple. It's characterized by folksy words.
Bad job out here, folks. I didn't need to do this, folks.
We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
His speech style includes non-words.
Bing, 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 boom, boom, boom.
And he often produces incomplete sentences.
Wah! In the face with a padlock. A lot of damage. Okay. I never did that.
If speech were a form of clothing, Trump would stubbornly be wearing jeans, even in a situation where the dress code requires a suit.
Bomb out of them.
Bringing up that kind of they're full of
There are two main theories about why Trump speaks like he does. One is a deficit theory. This highlights the fact that Trump frequently produces a word salad. The words are just tossed together. Proponents of the deficit theory argue that Trump's disorganized speech is the product of his disorganized mind.
You know what uranium is, right? It's a thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. Nobody talks about that.
The second explanation for Trump's verbal output is a difference theory. Here it's suggested that the simplicity of Trump's language is merely a rhetorical device for flattering and connecting with voters.
And we are all making America proud. We are rocking. We are rocking.
If you transcribe an unscripted speech by Trump, it often seems like gibberish.
Cheating on trade. Cheating. There's no other word for it. Cheating. They responded with silence. They didn't do anything. They were silent. Silencio. Let's not rock the boat. Oh.
That's because it's not intended to be transcribed. It's part of an oral, not a written tradition. This isn't really surprising, because even though Trump's a published author, he isn't a great reader of books.
My second favorite book of all time. What's my first favorite book? The Bible. The Bible.
Trump's failure to finish his sentences mirrors how we often speak to our friends. In informal settings, we often cut short our sentences on the assumption that the other people listening will complete them in their own head. So, by not finishing his sentences, Trump is treating his listeners as if they were his buddies.
Stay on point, Donald. Stay on point.
When he was on the campaign trail, Trump learned that the best way to build rapport with an audience is to involve them. Trump singles out individuals.
Let Trump do what he has to do. That's my guy right there. Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him.
And he makes the event feel like an unscripted conversation.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Get those teleprompters out of here. We're going to have some fun, right? Get those teleprompters.
Trump wants the audience to know that he's on their side. He often does this by complaining about politicians.
Politicians are all talk and no action. No politician's going to solve it. Politicians are liars.
Trump taps into the negative feelings that his supporters share. And he doesn't pull any punches either. One of Trump's pet hates is political correctness.
We don't fight to win. We fight politically correct wars.
I am so tired of this politically correct.
By targeting political correctness, Trump is showing that he isn't afraid to speak his mind.
We don't want to be too politically correct anymore, right, folks?
We have become so politically correct that we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Attacks on political correctness pretend to champion free speech, but they're really coded messages telling Trump's base that it's okay to hold intolerant or bigoted attitudes. Trump has a habit of announcing that he's not going to say something while he's actually saying it.
So I refuse to say that I cannot stand her screaming into the microphone all the time.
This rhetorical device is called apophasis. It lets Trump plant an idea in people's heads without taking any responsibility for what he's saying.
Now, I won't say it was because of me, but it was. Okay.
I won't do it. I was going to say they're full of but I won't say that. No, it's true. It's true. I won't say it.
This mischievous strategy allows Trump to present himself as a lovable rogue. Trump likes his speeches to seem unprepared. When he wants to sound more official, he sometimes refers to himself in the third person.
Nobody respects women more than Donald Trump.
Probably nobody's been tougher to Russia than Donald Trump.
This verbal technique is called Iliism. Trump uses it to give an air of objectivity to what he's saying, to make himself seem much more important.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Remember what I say. We will see what we will see.
Trump likes to keep his listeners in suspense so that they hang on his every word. Keeping everyone in the dark ensures that the spotlight remains firmly fixed on him. And that's exactly how Trump likes it. One of Trump's favorite phrases is "believe me."
Believe me.
Believe me.
Believe me. Not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me.
This phrase is typically used by people who are very confident. It's Trump's way of being emphatic. He's trying to persuade his audience to take him at face value. Trump also loves using intensifiers.
So easily, and so smartly.
I'll say it very honestly, and I'll say it very straight.
Words like very and so underline the point he's making. Together with expressions like believe me, they give his speech forcefulness and energy.
Very, very strongly. Very, very strongly. Very, very strongly.
When Trump approves of somebody or something, he tends to use words like beautiful and tremendous.
It can be taken care of quickly, beautifully.
The story was beautiful. It was beautiful.
There's tremendous potential.
Much of his language of approval seems extreme, some of it out of place. This has encouraged the suggestion that Trump is susceptible to what psychologists call dichotomous thinking, where he's inclined to see the world in binary, as black or white, good or evil, us versus them.
We're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning. You're going to say, you know, this guy's winning too much.
A major dichotomy for Trump is between winners and losers.
Boy, what a bunch of losers, I'll tell you.
Call them losers. I said call them losers.
You are a loser. You really are a loser.
For Trump, winners are life's heroes. Losers are simply the pits.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
If you examine the words that Trump uses to describe the people he genuinely admires, they're all extreme forms of adulation.
He's a very honorable guy and an honest guy.
High quality.
He is perfect.
References to the people he dislikes are just as extreme.
Our leaders are stupid. Our politicians are stupid. They're gutless. They're all gutless. They are the most dishonest people in the world.
The range of positive words that Trump uses to show approval is actually quite limited. But the range of negative words he uses to disparage people is remarkably rich and varied. He feels much more comfortable knocking people down rather than building them up. But there's a fate that's almost as bad as Trump's scorn, and that's his faint praise.
And I like him. He's a good man. I always liked Michael. And he's a good person.
When you describe someone as a good man or a good guy, it's usually because he's annoyed or he's trying to dissociate himself from that person.
Very, very good man. Thank you, very good man. Appreciate it.
So if you're trying to buddy up to Trump, beware. If he calls you a good man, you know you haven't a hope in hell.
You can bank on it.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
For most of his life, Donald Trump has been a property tycoon, a man who's accustomed to giving orders and having people follow them. This is obvious in his power talk, the words he uses, and the self-important way he refers to himself.
I am going to be the greatest jobs president that God ever created.
I do get good ratings, you have to admit that. I can be more presidential than anybody. I can be more presidential than anybody.
Trump has also enjoyed a successful career as a reality TV host, and this too has shaped the way he speaks.
You're fired.
You're fired.
I'm hired. You're hired.
But the biggest influence on Trump's language has been his experience as a deal maker. His default mode of engagement is selling.
That's what I do. My whole life has been deals. I've done great at it.
As Trump knows all too well, the first rule of sales is to identify your target market.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
He makes no bones about it. His customers are disgruntled conservatives, and they want a leader who doesn't mince his words.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
The next step for a salesman is to identify the needs of the customers.
America first. Drain the swamp. We will make America great again.
You have to convince everyone that you're the only person who can satisfy those needs.
Because I used to be part of the club, I'm the only one that can fix it. I alone can fix it.
But with selling, it's not enough to blow your own trumpet, or even to get others to do so for you. You need to make sure that your potential customers aren't considering alternative providers.
Sly and Ted Cruz, folks, remember that. Crooked Hillary Clinton. He was a dirty, rotten deserter. That's a low-energy individual, folks.
Trump's attacks are designed to single out his rival's weaknesses, and by implication, to make him look much more attractive, like the only realistic option.
There's no better word to describe our leader and our administration than the word what?
Stupid. Stupid. These are stupid people.
Trump seems to recognize that when it comes to selling, there's always a hidden quid pro quo, which is that people are prepared to buy what's on offer, provided that the sales pitch involves a novel and engaging spectacle.
Future construction worker.
All politicians employ the principles of selling. No politician, however, has exploited these principles so blatantly or with such enthusiasm as Trump. He may give the impression that he's offering a political vision, but what he's really doing is selling. And what he's selling is himself.
I did a great job this weekend.